Alright everybody, I just finished up zeroing the Rhy-On 3 to 18. Had a really good experience with it. It is, as I suspected, that big center dot really helped me not just acquire the dot, but stabilize it and keep it in focus and keep it sharp as I was shooting for groups. I like the big center dot. It's a nice, easy reference point, and I shot some tight groups down there with this Ruger American. It's just a 300 blackout Ruger American, and I have it in a heat seeker chassis. Quick shout out to a couple brands that help support me. So MKM Machining, thank you for that bubble level. Alacritas Innovations, if you want to shoot really tight groups, this is something that can help you do it. It's an adjustable mount. It has macro adjust and micro adjust in a mariner's wheel. Some really nice slidey bags. That's been awesome. Warbird Pro, when I need ears, this is who I wear. Warbird Pro, these are the BT Intrepid BTs. They're Bluetooth rechargeable, and the Bluetooth capability is really neat. And then of course have anechoic suppressors. So this is their Anecho X35, which I threw on the end, and it did not hurt accuracy at all. Actually, it didn't even change my point of impact. It could be because it's a 35 millimeter can, or a 35 caliber can rather. That could be part of it. But I really enjoyed the experience. It was easy to do. I'm on a 0 MOA rail, unfortunately. I need a 30 or 40 on this gun because I want to shoot it really far, but I have enough in the reticle, and I have a little bit left over in the turrets on this guy where I'm going to be able to do a lot with it and get a pretty far shot today, I think, with 300 blackout, even with subsonics. So well done to Rhy-On. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Had a really nice image, good clear glass, and I find that this actually fits super well on this. It's just, you know, I like black. I like black guns. I like the all blacked out thing going on right now. And this scope is just really aesthetically pleasing. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. So I don't usually do unboxings. It's just not something most people care about. But inside the box, there are a couple important things that you should know about. Okay, you do have some extra throw lever bases. So if you want to get a different height for your throw lever, the throw lever height that I have on there right now works great. I chose the furthest right position, and that works really well for my purposes and my bolt. Shot that on 14 power, by the way. And here is a really cool additional turret. The reason that they throw in this additional turret is if you don't want to have a zero stop installed and you want that full range of travel, which is pretty incredible in this scope, then you install this one. I'm not going to have to be worried about that for this review, but in the future when I shoot this further, I may want to take that out just so I can stretch it to the extreme ends of range. And then of course there's a scope or a lens cloth, and that's always nice to have in there. Appreciate it. It's branded. Everything is done really well. Information on the box has been done really well, and I find that everything that you would want to know is advertised here, as well as that T3 reticle, which I keep bragging about. Well, that was kind of cool. I was getting ready to shoot here, and just as I was looking, a big old dust devil was starting up, but I could see a huge amount of swirling brush down there. That was at about 400. I'm shooting at 630, but about 400 yards, there's a dust devil, that picked up a whole bunch of grass out of the ground. It was swirling it around. I was trying to read the vegetation, and I was like, what is going on? Well, that was pretty cool. Good contrast, really good glass. I was able to, you know, have enough depth of field to really pick out what was going on there mid-air, and you know, kind of identified that I needed to stop for a second and let that dust devil to pass. That was really interesting. I wonder what would have happened if I shot through it. Oh. So that was with just some FMJs, some kind of, you know, reman ammo. Not amazing, but actually I could see my trace all the way out there. The mirage is so bad I almost didn't come out to film today. But it helped me really lock onto the trace out there. I could tell when those rounds were going to go wild left or a little high, and I could tell when they were about to land on the target too, which is really neat. Great image, great contrast. You need that in order to follow up with that trace. And that was on about 13 power, it looks like. It's an awesome image, and that reticle stands out so nice and neat. I am kind of a sucker for good crunchy turrets, and these are good crunchy turrets. The actual sound, and there's that second revolution indicator popping up on top. I can see it very easily. And let's go for the white flipper. It's a really small target. That's less than half MOA, actually, I think. Yeah, it's less than half MOA. So I'm going to try to go for that flipper. I know that this is not shooting half MOA. I'm just having fun with it. And at 630 yards, I'm more looking at the image and how I'm dealing with, pretty much everything from lighting to, is there any chromatic aberration? How is the field of view? What do the edges of the glass look like? And then kind of optimizing the glass at this point, going right in the center at 13 mils. Let's see what happens. And I've been holding about 2/10 left. I'm going to hold a little more. This reticle contrasts so incredibly well. It's one of the best features of the scope. I have to tell you, I think this T3 reticle is far underrated. Some people might not like the idea or the concept that it doesn't have numerical indicators, but you have to remember, it's in mils. There's only 10 of them going down. They're nice and bold, very thick, same with that center dot. And with the fifth line, the fifth mil, it does contrast. The 10th mil does contrast. Your brain can so easily pick up what the actual numbers and values are supposed to be for this reticle. It's not hard to look at. It doesn't have windage holds, I know that, but I'm not finding that to be too much of an issue. And this is a very slow, sluggish, bad BC bullet in general. And still I can navigate around my target pretty well. I'm not really being hindered at all. And if I was hunting, man, the huge field of view, the huge openness of the reticle, and yet I have that contrast, which I'm so happy with. It's just easier for me to pick it up, and I know a lot of people agree with me. A lot of people like those thicker reticles. I'm going to hold a little more wind, and let's see what I can do. It's actually not doing terrible, considering this is just Rhy-On, FMJ. There's nothing special, and this rifle is definitely nothing special. Shoots pretty good with that anechoic 35L on there, or just 35. It's not the 35L. So thank you to Anechoic for sending out their Anecho can. Anarchy Outdoors, really like this grip. I'm a huge fan of it. If you're looking for a good quality pistol grip that has kind of a neat, thumb shelf and a little bit of a unique texture and design, it's not just a cookie cutter of all the other grips out there. They are definitely unique. They're different. They're strong. I'm a huge fan, and I almost exclusively run Anarchy Outdoors grips now, pretty much from this point forward. I like the MDT grips as well, and you can go get those same grips at Anarchy Outdoors. But I like the Alpha grip for my personal uses, and that's something they make in-house. It's pretty cool. It's not a bad little build, actually. Too much. So I was kind of watching the wind there. And not terribly consistent, actually. Downrange and uprange, little swirly, which would make sense why I saw that little dust devil tornado forming down there. It's not a very consistent wind. It's a nice day. It's not a terrible day to shoot, not super consistent for holds. I'm seeing that ammo go a lot more deviation than I'm used to, and I am going to attribute that to wind. I can really see good down there. I can see great. This is a great image. As far as optics go from Rhy-On, I've only had good experiences. The 3-24 is one of the nicer scopes that I own. The 3-18 is now right there with it. I'm so happy with this design. Feels good, looks good. Rhy-On, I have a strong opinion about this already. I think this is going to be a winner. As long as it doesn't let me down, doesn't fail me in any other way, and nothing breaks, I'm really happy with it. Okay, this time, let's do a little bit on 18 power, and then I'm going to back it off and go down really low and see how low I can go on that white target and still make, relatively close shots. Okay, Mirage is pretty tough there. I am shooting through some pretty stiff Mirage. Let's go down to 3 power. 3 power, I could almost do it. I'm gonna do 4 power. Yeah, I think I can. I think on 4 power, I might actually be able to contrast well enough. Let's look at that illumination. Illumination is daylight bright, and it's very bright out right now. Was that a hit? It sounded like a hit. I don't know. I can actually see fairly well down there on 4 power, but I don't know why you would do that. 6 power is much more practical. Let's try it at 6. Okay. Okay, I've got just a few more rounds. I'm honestly just having a good time. It's a really nice scope. I'm very, very pleased with the performance. I believe the scope will be staying on this setup because it does exactly what I want it to do. This setup, I can do hunting with it. I can do varminting with it. I can change around my loads and my grain weights quite a bit. In a little bit here, I am going to try some 220s, some subsonics at this distance, and I'll need all of the dialing and all of the holdover. We'll see what happens. But I like the way that this is configured for kind of cross-compatible or cross-platform compatible concepts. Like this one is kind of my hunter, long-range plinker. It's not a competition gun, but it is a scope that could do competition. It's not a hunting gun only, but it can do hunting. And so I kind of feel like it's just a tweener for me, and the Optic fits either of those categories. I could compete with this, absolutely I could. In fact, I'm really tempted to, and I know that I can hunt with it already. I'm very confident, and when it comes to target practice and plinking, I'm really having fun with it. I honestly want another one now with this reticle. I want to put it on something else. I have a few ideas about. Okay, let's try a little bit on the steel plate, and I'm going to do that pretty low. I said a little bit ago that I could do this on 3 power, and I absolutely can. I'm going to do it on 3 power on the steel plate because that's big enough of a target where I should be able to land some hits in there. I'm not going to be able to see splash or miss, but I will be able to acquire the target, hold on the target, and have a huge field of view. Why am I doing this? Just for fun. Even though it's really windy, it is a little too windy to be doing such a slow round, I think. But I can see that on 3 power. I really can. I can see that it was hitting high. And there's plenty of image available there. That's just doing something kind of extreme for the heck of it. I know that's not practical. You're never really going to do that. But I just want to tell you, the glass is good, the eye box is good, comfort behind the scope is just awesome. My face position doesn't matter that much. I did have to lower my cheek rest because I could tell I wasn't super comfortable. It's one thing I did. Let me throw a few more at 8 power. And at 8 power, I should be able to see everything, even in the grass, if I miss, which I definitely will. I am impressed. I could actually see that in the air. I could see a little glimmer on 8 power, so it's just shiny enough, I think, with these projectiles, and then I could see where it hit on the target. That is really impressive on 8 power. I'm at 630 yards. Not every optic can do this, and not every 50 millimeter can bring in such a great amount of light. Obviously, it's bright out right now, but I've used it in the morning and at night. And then the reticle, like I said, it just really, I don't know, it meshes with me pretty good.